Hey guys, it's me. This actually happened a few weeks ago, but I just haven't had the mental energy to update the vlog. Before our first ultrasound, my daughter kind of like walked up to me and was like, "Oh no, your baby disappeared," and I was like, "You're creepy." Like, not to her, but I was thinking, man, kids are so creepy. Um, and I thought, well, she watches Princess Sophia, and anyone that watches that show, they're always like, disappearo. And so I tried to just blow it off. But I did feel like with my daughter, I was so sick. And with this baby, or that baby, um, I wasn't, like, I was nauseous at first, and it kind of went away. And it just worried me. I felt like I wasn't nauseous long enough. And with my daughter, I threw up like 20 times a day for 8.5 months. And I'm like, I get that you have different, every pregnancy is different, but I'm like, can they really be that different? And a lot of people are like, yeah, they can. And so I was like, whatever. And people are like, well, you've just been trying for a long time, and it's just scary, but just try and enjoy it. And I was trying to, but in the back of my mind, I just was like, something's not right. It just didn't feel right. And anyways, I was still I was still tired, and I was having heartburn, which I didn't have with my daughter. And so I was still having some symptoms, but I just didn't feel right. And we had an ultrasound, and she was like, well, the baby's measuring a week behind, and so I'm not really nervous yet, but next week the baby needs to double in size and we need to have a heartbeat. Because I was measuring like 5 weeks, 3 days instead of 6 weeks, 3 days or something. And so I was like, okay. And so then the next day, or like a day or two later, my daughter was in the car at Aldi's grocery store, and I said, hey, I said, can you believe there's going to be a little brother or sister sitting beside you in the cart soon? And she just like had this confused look on her face, and she was like, after you lost this baby, you're going to have another baby? And I was just like taken back. She's 3, and we had not talked to our household anything negative about the baby, anything about losing the baby. I was really working to just try and enjoy the baby. I was just kind of pushing any negative thoughts back. So when she said that, I was just like, I just felt like it was like, once she said that, I just was like, oh well, there's no way that something's not happened to this baby, because why would my kid say that? And I had people say like, are you sure she said that? But it was like completely obvious that she said that. She even looked confused. It was like she knew something that we didn't. And um and so since the baby was measuring behind that week, people are like, well, maybe your due date's off a little bit. But you know how it is when you're trying to conceive. You know you know when you ovulate and stuff, which technically I didn't know that month because I didn't take my fertility meds, and because we were like trying to relax and just like enjoy a month to just focus on our family. And so I didn't actually take a test to see if I ovulated technically. So I was like trying to tell myself, oh well, you probably just ovulated late, but I really didn't. Especially once my daughter said that, I was just like, oh. But anyway, so we went back for another ultrasound, and the baby hadn't grew. So we were told basically that we lost the baby. There wasn't a heartbeat. And so then we went back. So I didn't know like what I should do. It was a miscarriage, so like my body didn't realize that the baby had passed away. And so it was just like an eerie feeling carrying a baby. And I ended up choosing a D&C. I just felt like I did not want to go through that at home. And I really didn't realize what all a miscarriage entails. Like, I didn't realize it was painful, and I guess I just had never thought about it that much, about what all happens during a miscarriage. And after reading about it, I was like, no way, I don't want that memory in my house. No, no, I don't. I just did not want it. And so I decided to go with the DNC route. And so at 9 weeks, well, I should have been 9 weeks. I guess the baby stopped growing at 5 weeks, 3 days, or something like that. And I went for my DNC, and that went good. The day before, I started getting really panicked once I read about a DNC, just because of how they do it. It just freaked me out. Not for myself, but just I felt like it was like disrespectful to the baby. But then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, well, you know, a lot of people cremate their loved ones and stuff, and, you know, your body, like, the baby's body is not here, or is not here, so it's just a body, an earthly body. And so we went ahead with the DNC, and they let us bring our baby home, which was nice. Because that was one reason I kind of the only reason I thought I wanted to do it at home was just because I didn't want the baby just like getting thrown out. Even though it was a tiny, tiny baby, it's still our baby, and I just didn't want it thrown out. And I know I'm not like seeming upset. I am. I just, it's just weird. It just comes in waves. I may cry 3 or 4 hours at night. Plus, this has been set in for a few weeks. But I don't know. It just hits me at weird times. But anyways, we think we have not buried the baby yet. I can't decide if I'm going to do like an indoor plant or an outdoor, but we named him Coltyn. Obviously, because of the gestation period or whatever, we didn't have like we didn't actually know the sex, but for some reason I have like no attachment to the girl name we picked out, and I have like a lot of attachment to the boy name we picked out. And when I had first asked Blakely, what do you think the baby is, she said, well, I think it's a boy, but I wanted a sister. And so I don't know, I just felt like it was a boy, and since she's the one that knew everything else before us, I just really feel like it's a boy. And so we named him Coltyn James Burdette, and so yeah, it's been really hard. I still haven't really done any public things exactly. Today was my first like public thing to really do. We had someone pass away in my husband's family, and so we went to support his mom and his family. And it went good. I was just kind of worried about seeing like a group of people. I've been really weird about Blakely. That's my daughter. I just feel like I don't want her out of my sight. I don't want her. I just feel like hyper cautious about her, which I hear is pretty normal. But like I kept her out of school for a week, which she's in like Mother's Day out, so it's not like really school. It's not like she's like missing anything. Nothing like super important. But I just felt like panicked. Like one time I tried to send her to go to my sister-in-law's house, and she got in her car seat and everything, and my mom was going to take her after my DNC, or maybe it was before, but I just like started having a panic attack. I like couldn't breathe, and I had to get her back, and I was like, I can't have her far from me. And so anyway, so that has lifted a little bit. So I'll be taking her to school tomorrow. I've just kind of fought through that a little bit. Like it's still there, like it still makes me nervous, but I've just kind of, I realize that I can't never let her do anything, but I feel like in my own time, like, you know, I think people probably thought it was weird. I kept her out of school for a week, but it was our week. Our family was going through something hard, and I needed her there. I needed her at home. I felt good when she was at home, and I just needed her. And we had a lot of fun. I mean, it feels weird to say that, but we just tried to enjoy her. We decided not to tell her just because she's only 3, and it's very strange. She has not mentioned the baby once. She was always like talking about like the baby, let me kiss the baby, I love the baby. But once she started, once she said that the baby disappeared, she really hasn't mentioned the baby. She still says she's a big sister, which we obviously don't correct her on because she is a big sister. Her baby's just not here. And so we just decided to not say anything just because, well, we're still trying, and I feel like she doesn't understand what 9 months is of pregnancy, so she won't understand what 11 or 12 months is, or however long it takes us. So for right now, we're just not going to mention it, and she hasn't brought up the baby, so but yeah, we're doing okay. My husband had a hard time at work, just getting very emotional, and it was just hard. I mean, and I think sometimes for men, they have a hard time because it's not for their, like, it's not their body. So I think some people, like, discredit their feelings a little bit, not on purpose. I think people just focus on the mom more. But he was so upset, and he just kept saying, I just can't believe we tried 19 months and we just finally got our baby, and then he was taken from us. So we've just been taking it kind of hard. I've been doing pretty good. Everyone's like, it's weird. It catches me at weird times. Like, it's weird. I just got a really weird text. Sorry. It just said they saw my picture on TV, and I don't even have cable, so I have no idea how I could possibly be on TV. But it's probably great. And it's an unknown number. But anyway, so, like, it catches me at weird times. Like, I don't think it's really completely hit me that we lost the baby. It is more now that I had the DNC, but I still felt pregnant before the DNC, so I was still feeling pregnant, and, like, it's weird. I keep accidentally looking, because I was looking at crib sets for our house, like, used ones, and so I can, like, be looking through those, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I don't even realize what I'm doing. I'm like, a baby's not coming home. What are you doing? And so that's been, like, stuff like that hasn't been bothering me. But then, like, today, me and my daughter had our windows down, and we were driving my husband's Charger, and we were listening to music, and we were singing and dancing, and I felt, like, so happy. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Just, like, next level happy. I had my hand out the window, and I just felt so happy, and I turned around and looked at her, and she was so happy, but I just looked, and I just noticed, like, the empty back seat, and I have no idea what it was, but I just got super, like, emotional, and I just felt like it just kind of hit me all at once that, like, that baby was not growing, it's not here, and we're not bringing one home. And I just feel for her, because she wants, another kid to share her life with. And I know she's only 3, but she brings up wanting to have a sibling all the time. She'll play in her room for hours, and we play a lot with her too, but it's not the same.